My name is Sanaya.
And my name is Agastya.
And today I will tell you guys a story from Summer Adventure Stories, written by Enid Blyton.
But what is the name of the story?
The story's name is Adventure in the Afternoon. Now the story will begin, so make sure you listen close.
Okay.
Ian had a camera. He had it for his birthday and he was very pleased with it indeed. It wasn't a new one, it was a very old one, really, that his father had seen in a shop and bought second-hand. New cameras are much too expensive, he told Ian, and anyway, it is best to learn an old one, and this is quite a good one. Here's a little instruction book to go with it. It tells you exactly what to do when you want to take a picture. Ian was thrilled! A camera!
Aha! Now he could take his own pictures.
And what beauties he would get! What are you going to photograph? Said Lisa, his sister. Will you take me, Ian? I'd like you to take a snap of me. Oh no, said Ian. I'm not going to waste my precious films on snapshots of people, Lisa. Anybody can do that. Well, what are you gonna photograph? Said Lisa. Birds? Animals? No, said Ian. They won't keep still enough for me. I'm going to take pictures of cars and trains and aeroplanes. I'm going to make my own book of cars. To begin with, I shall photograph every kind of car. It'll be great fun watching out for them and photographing them. Yes, that should be good fun, said Lisa. Are you going to take a picture of our car, Ian? If you do, I could sit at the wheel as if I'm driving it. Do let me. So Ian took his first picture, and it was of his father's own car, a Morris, with Lisa sitting up at the wheel as if she were driving it. He wandered off with his camera on a strap around his neck. He felt grand with a camera of his own. But he didn't mean to take the things people usually took. No, he was going to take pictures of the thing he was most interested in, and those were cars, planes, and trains. Ships too, when he was by the sea. For the next week, Ian had a fine time. He took a picture of a beautiful Rolls Royce, complete with a very grand chauffeur. He took a picture of a tiny little baby car with a dog at the back. It had been left there to guard the car, and it barked loudly and fiercely at Ian when he came up with his camera. Don't you want your picture taken? Said Ian, and he clicked the camera. Well, I've taken it, and if you come out on it with your mouth wide open, barking madly, don't blame me. When he had finished the whole film, his father showed him how to develop each picture.
Film? Developing a picture? What type of camera is this?
Oh, I forgot to mention, Agastya. This story first appeared in Enid Blyton's Sunny Stories in 1948. Around that time, they had a different type of camera.
Oh, you mean the olden cameras with black films?
And to develop those films, you need to follow a certain procedure. Then only we can have a hard copy of the picture, unlike nowadays digital cameras.
Oh, now I have understood.
Let's continue. Soon, Ian had 12 beautiful pictures of cars to stick into his car book. He was very proud and very pleased. You've really done well with your first film, said his father in surprise. Well, I read that little book of instructions carefully first, said Ian, and did exactly what it said. Sensible of you, said his father. Most people rush at a new thing. They don't trouble to learn anything about it first, and then they wonder why they get poor results. You deserve your camera, Ian. Ian went on with his photographing of all kinds of cars. He got Austins and Bentleys, Rileys and Standards, and Rovers and Vauxhalls, and in fact, all the cars you see rushing about on the roads each day. I expect you to know as many as he did. He stuck the pictures of them in his book. I've nearly got every make of car now, he told his father. I've got American cars too. And look, that's a French one, and here's another. I haven't got an Italian one yet. There's room for that, if only I can get one. They're lovely cars, aren't they, the Italian ones? His father didn't know as much about cars as Ian did, and he laughed. Funny hobby, this of yours, he said to Ian. I don't know that it's much use, really. It's fun for you, of course, but honestly, your book looks rather like a catalog of second-hand cars. Ian didn't mind. He enjoyed his hobby, and he loved taking his camera out, ready to snap any new or unusual car that he saw. It was fun to snap them, and even more fun to develop the film and see what kind of picture he had got. One afternoon, he was sitting by the roadside, waiting for cars to come by. There was a lovely view to be seen from the place he had chosen, and cars often pulled up to look at it. Then, Ian could snap them if they're cars he wanted. It was very hot indeed. Ian moved out of the sun and snuggled into the greenery of the hedge. His eyes shut. He was asleep. He was awakened by the sound of a car pulling up near to him. He opened his eyes, yawned, and poked his head out of the shady greenery around. Then he sat up straight in delight. An Italian car, a real beauty. A big yellow one with bright silver lines shining here and there. What a car! Just what he wanted for his book of car photographs.
I can imagine that lovely car.
Me too. He pulled his camera case over to him and took out his camera. He saw a man get out of the car and walk to the wall on the other side of the road. He had something in his hand, but Ian couldn't see what it was. To the boy's surprise, the man lifted his hand and threw what he was holding over the wall. Then he walked back to the car. They'll be off again in half a jiffy, thought Ian. I must snap the car at once or I'll miss it. What a beauty! I might never see such a fine Italian car again. He hurriedly knelt up on one knee and squinted down at the little camera mirror that told him whether the car was in his picture or not. It was, right in the middle, shining beautifully in the sun. The man was just walking over to it. Click! Ian snapped down the little lever that took the picture, and at the same moment the driver revved up his engine.
That's a funny sound.
I know. I tried my best. Let's continue. The car shot off at top speed. Nobody had spotted Ian in the shade of the hedge. Nobody had heard the click of his camera. How Ian hoped that his picture would come out well. What a beautiful car to add to the collection in his car book. He was walking home, longing to develop his roll of film and see what the picture of the Italian car was like, when he saw a white car coming along in the distance. Ian saw a sign glowing on it. Police! A police car, he said to himself. And jolly fast too, I should think. I wish they'd stop because I've got just one more picture to take on this film. And although I've got plenty of Welsleys, I've never had one with police showing on it. Just as if the car had heard his wish, it slowed down and stopped beside him. Ian hurriedly took his camera out of the case. Now he could snap this police car. But before he could snap the car, a uniformed policeman put his head out of the window. Hey, Sonny, seen any cars along here lately? Only one in the last half hour, said Ian. I fell asleep in the hedge. The policeman gave an exclamation of annoyance. Well, you won't be much help then. What was the car you saw? An Italian car, said Ian. It stopped just by me, and the noise of the engine woke me up. Ha! Good, said the policeman. Then you can tell me who was in the car, how many, and what they were like. Oh no, I can't tell you that, said Ian, trying to think hard. I didn't notice. I just saw a man get out of the car and throw something over the wall down there. Some rubbish, I suppose. And then he got back and the car drove away at once. What was the man like? Asked the policeman. I don't know, said Ian. I really didn't notice, sir. Think of that, said the policeman in an exasperated voice, turning to another man in the car.
Exasperated? You mean the policeman is getting annoyed?
Yes. Here's a boy who had a good chance of seeing how many there were in the car and what they were like and everything, and all he knows is what the car looked like. Ian felt hurt at the man's tone. Well, sir, I know you think I'm jolly stupid, he said, but actually I was photographing the car for my car book, so naturally I didn't bother about the people in it. Then things happened very quickly. 3 policemen in the car exclaimed loudly. One of them hauled Ian into the car and another whipped his camera case off of his shoulder. He may have got just what we want, said one of them. We'll get the snap developed immediately. Johns, you drop off at the wall where this youngster says he saw one of the men throw something over, and see what you can find. We'll drive on to the police station and get this film developed at once. But it's my film, began Ian indignantly.
Now it's Ian's turn to get angry and annoyed.
Yeah. I always develop my own films. What's all the excitement about? Well, you deserve to know, seeing that it's likely you may going to present us with a photograph or 1 or 2 people who are concerned in a robbery of valuable state papers, said the first policeman. We've an idea who they are, but we've no proof at the moment. All we know is that they drove off in a big Italian car. Now it was Ian's turn to get excited. Fancy his camera snapping the very car with the robbers in, and maybe the very robbers themselves. Ian remembered the man who had been walking towards the car just when he had snapped it. Surely he would be in the picture? One of the policemen dropped off at the wall and jumped over it to see what he could find. He hoped to get the case in which the stolen papers had been kept. It would be empty, of course, but there might be fingerprints on it. The police car sped on to the big police station in the next town. The film was taken from Ian's camera and was soon being developed in a little dark room. Ian watched in excitement. At last, one of the policemen gave a whistle and held up the roll of film to the light. Look here! This is the car, and who's that beside it? It's Lenny Richardson, isn't it? We thought he was in on this. And look! Here's a man at the wheel. He's come out plainly. My word, it's Pete Lucien. Is it a good snap? Asked Ian, patiently trying to get a peep of it. Fine, couldn't be better, said the policeman. What a bit of luck for us. Got the car and all the men in one picture. Absolutely positive proof of the thieves concerned. Sonny, you did much better than you know when you snapped that car. Well, what a thrill for Ian. The thieves were caught because of his picture, and the newspapers the next day was the photograph he had taken of the car and the men.
That is so wonderful,
isn't it? Ian was so proud he didn't stop talking about it. Fancy my little old camera taking a picture so valuable as that, he kept saying. What a fine picture I've got to put in my car book. The best and the most exciting of the lot. All the newspapers that printed Ian's car picture paid him a fee for it. and to his enormous surprise, the boy soon had more money than he had ever had in his life. "Almost 10 pounds, he said.
Oh my gosh!
Getting paid for your hobby and passion, isn't that great?
Yeah, right.
Well, I know what I'm going to do with it. I know too, don't you? He's going to buy a really magnificent camera now for a train book. If you ever meet him, ask him to show you his car book. It's very interesting indeed, especially the last 2 pictures in the book. A big Italian car shining in the sun and a gleaming white car with the words showing clearly. Police. The end.
What an adventurous story. And I love the way he's following his passion.
Me too. As a plus point, his family is also supporting him.
Yes, that is really important.
What do you think, guys? Please tell us.
And for more wonderful stories like this, we'll see you in our next video.
Bye!